Stop chasing. Right now. Because the moment you stop, something shifts. And they start coming to you. You've been doing it backwards your entire life. Texting first. Following up. Making sure they know you care. Initiating plans. Checking in. Keeping the connection alive through sheer force of effort. And what's it getting you? Lukewarm responses. Maybe when you want yes. The feeling that you care significantly more than they do. The exhausting reality of being the one who always reaches out first. Here's what Machiavelli understood about human desire that you've been missing. People don't chase what's available. They chase what might slip away. In Renaissance Italy, he watched princes compete for alliances, lovers vie for attention, courtiers scramble for favor. And the pattern was always the same. The person doing the pursuing had less power than the person being pursued. The moment you chase, you've announced your position in the hierarchy. But there's a deeper psychological mechanism at play. The Zeigarnik effect, discovered by psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik, shows that people remember incomplete tasks better than completed ones. When something is unfinished, unresolved, uncertain, it occupies mental space. It creates tension that demands resolution. When you're constantly available, constantly responsive, constantly initiating, you're complete, resolved. There's no tension to resolve, no uncertainty to chase, no gap that needs closing. You've made yourself the answered question. And answered questions don't keep people up at night. Think about the last person who had real power over you. The one you checked your phone for. The one whose attention felt valuable because it wasn't guaranteed. Were they texting you constantly? Explaining themselves? Making sure you knew how much they cared? Or were they just living their life, and somehow that made you want to be part of it more than any amount of pursuit ever could? Machiavelli wrote, "The wish to acquire is in truth very natural and common, and men always do so when they can." But here's the twist. They only wish to acquire what they don't already have, what they're not certain they can keep. The moment you become certain, available, guaranteed, you stop being desired and start being taken for granted. Not because people are cruel, but because that's how human psychology works. We value scarcity. We pursue uncertainty. We chase what we're not sure we can catch. So what does stay silent actually mean? It's not about games or manipulation. It's about having a life so full that other people become an addition to it, not the center of it. Machiavelli observed that the most powerful leaders weren't the ones constantly communicating with their subjects. They were the ones whose rare appearances became events, whose words carried weight because they were scarce, whose attention was valuable because it wasn't freely given. This is about inversion of pursuit. Right now, you're the one creating all the energy in the relationship. You're the sun, radiating effort and warmth and attention, and they're passively receiving it, like a planet that doesn't have to do anything to stay in orbit. But when you go silent, genuinely silent, not performatively, you stop being the sun. You become another planet. And suddenly there's no gravitational center, no guaranteed warmth. And that absence creates cold that makes people move. The psychologist Robert Cialdini identified scarcity as one of the core principles of influence. Things become more attractive when they're less available. But it only works if the scarcity is real. If you're busy, but everyone knows you're just sitting home waiting for them to text back, that's not scarcity, that's performance. And people can smell the difference. Real silence comes from genuinely being absorbed in something else. Your work, your growth, your friends, your purpose. When someone becomes optional rather than central, that's when the dynamic shifts. But here's the uncomfortable truth. You're probably terrified to do this, because silence feels like losing them. Feels like they'll forget about you, move on, find someone else who gives them more attention. And maybe they will. But here's what you need to understand. If someone only wants you when you're chasing them, they don't actually want you. They want the validation of being pursued. the philosopher Søren Kierkegaard wrote about the sickness unto death, the despair of trying to be someone other than yourself. Every time you chase someone who's not chasing you back, you're abandoning yourself, betraying your own dignity for the possibility of their approval. Machiavelli's secret isn't about making people chase you. It's about becoming someone who doesn't need to be chased because you're already going somewhere. Here's what happens when you actually commit to this. At first, nothing. They don't notice you've stopped reaching out because they were never paying that much attention anyway. And this will hurt. You'll be tempted to break, to reach out, to check if they noticed your absence. Don't. Then, something shifts. They wonder where you went, why you're not in their inbox anymore. What you're doing that's more important than them. And that wondering, that uncertainty, creates the very tension you've been trying to create through pursuit. They'll reach out. Not everyone, not immediately, but the ones who actually valued you will notice the absence. And their reaching out will mean something because it required effort on their part. But here's the deeper shift. By the time they reach out, you might not care anymore, because you've been building something real. Something that doesn't need their validation to feel valuable. Machiavelli's actual lesson wasn't about manipulating others. It was about the power of self-possession, of being so complete in yourself that others' opinions of you become interesting but not necessary. The secret to making people chase you isn't in what you do to them. It's in what you stop doing to yourself. Stop abandoning your dignity for their attention. Stop shrinking your life to fit around their inconsistency. Stop treating their half-interested maybe like it's a prize worth winning. The question isn't, how do I make them chase me? The question is, why am I still chasing someone who's not running toward me? And when you finally answer that honestly, when you finally choose yourself with the same intensity you've been choosing them, you won't need anyone to chase you. Because you'll be too busy chasing your own life to notice who's following.